Good afternoon. It's January 26th. Much warmer today, right around freezing. Also much windier. This is going to be another short walk. I'm just walking over to our condo where I'm going to do a little audio recording and then walking back. So it's not going to be a very long walk today, but I wanted to do something anyway while I was out. You can probably hear the wind. I want to start recording One Lucky Devil, my grandfather-in-law's First World War memoirs, as an audiobook is the plan. So that's kind of what I'm going over there to do. And since otherwise I was kind of busy today, I didn't want to take time for a dedicated hour to walk. So I'm just going to kill two birds with one stone here. It's not quite as far as yesterday's walk. I might stretch it out a bit more when I walk back for part two, just to add a little more. But I'm going to walk directly there now, so it's maybe 15 minutes is all this will be. Nice to be able to walk in my leather jacket today instead of in my parka. We had a little touch of snow, but nothing major. It's going to be fairly mild next little bit, and even in the long-range forecast, nothing that looks like it's going to be quite as cold as it has been, although it does turn colder again. So walking along good old Angus Crescent here. This will just be a walk straight down College Avenue, basically, for a few blocks. Gray day. Gray and windy, but mild. A little tougher walk for me because I'm carrying so much stuff. Got my computer bag. I have an old iPad in there that I use for reading. Hi, Kirk in Vancouver. Because it's silent when you're recording. And also carrying a mug of coffee in a thermos, so I don't know how much that is. It's 20 or 25 pounds, it feels like, carrying on my shoulder. This is always a very windy corner here because of the office building there. Hopefully the mic works. I think I hopefully solved the YouTube dropping signal on a regular basis thing when I realized there was a setting in the app that I had turned off that should have remained on. But whether that has any bearing on whether my mic keeps working or not, I don't know. I kind of lowered the overall bit rate, and now I have this variable bit rate thing on, so hopefully. Who's there? Oh, hi, Charles. Well, we're right around freezing, so it's about 30, a little under freezing, maybe -1. So about 30 degrees Fahrenheit right now here. Very mild. As I said, this is just going to be a short walk. Might only be about 10 minutes. Then I'll do another one later. But it's not a long walking day. You can tell it's mild because of all the moisture on the road. Again, that's the hotel. I would say that. Royal Saskatchewan Museum. There was a time when there was supposed to be a hotel in that corner. Back in the early 20th century, they were going to build a big railway hotel there, but it went bust. That never happened, unfortunately. I caught this really had a bad moment. Long wait. These, if you're looking for office space, that's again the Royal Saskatchewan Museum over there. This morning I concentrated on my own writing. I wrote about 2,500 words. Another chapter of what's currently called Changers, which is a young adult novel modern day fantasy, maybe a touch of horror, that was supposed to have been published by Cheezine, Canadian small publisher that then imploded for various reasons. Before they even offered, well, I had a verbal commitment, but they'd never even gotten around to offering me a contract, and now I'm just as glad they hadn't. So at the time I was just writing it, I got the commitment from them based on 60 pages or something like that. And I was waiting for the contract before I finished writing it. Well, I'm not getting a contract. So I decided I'd just write it, which is what I always used to do. I've gotten kind of lazy and I prefer not to write anything unless I have a contract. Go figure. But writing on spec has its upside too. Especially with more opportunities for publishing. I can always put it out myself if I can't find a home for it. Although I'll always start with traditional publishers if I can find one, because it's way less work. And usually, if they're established, they'll sell more copies than I usually manage, just putting it out myself. Hopefully this guy's looking to see that there's a pedestrian coming. Has to drive over me. He backed up, so I guess he did. It's an old apartment building there, and then this is a very old house that's been pretty heavily redone. There's a doctor's office in it now. I presume they live in there too. I don't actually know that, but I think they must. There's the credit union building over there, and the college building, Dark Hall. I walked down on that side just a few days ago. Another old house that now has other stuff in it. Ooh. Yeah, I really made this computer bag heavy, so I think I will definitely keep the walk back just as short as the walk over. It's just a little too heavy for comfortable walking. It's not that it's tiring me out, it's just painful because it's really dragging down on one shoulder more than I would like. We're practically there, so yes, this will be quite a short walk. And yet, in that short amount of time, one of those comment bots found me. This used to be the Dark Mansion, as in Dark Hall across the street. He was a butcher. That's how he made his money. Then it was a funeral home, and now it's called Stone Hall Castle, which has been unfinished exterior-wise for a very long time, although I did do some work up there and got some of that sort of half-timbered Tudor thing going on up there, which had been unfinished, but as you can see, a lot of it's still unfinished. Supposedly the inside is done up like a medieval castle, and you could rent the space, or non-pandemic years you could rent the space. I don't know what the situation is right now, but I've never been in there. And this is an actual funeral home, still active one, I mean, if active is the right word for a funeral home. I suppose a funeral home is active, it's just the clients that aren't very active. There's the college building. Big pile of snow off the driveway. Hair studio. I might have put up some resistance to that name. See what I did there? Resistance. Thank you. And we're just going over here, so just about done. Until I walk back again, which will be, I don't know, a couple hours probably. Okay, turning up Scarth Street here. Yeah, a knapsack if I did this all the time, but I usually don't carry anything when I'm walking. And normally I don't have, if it's just the laptop and that's basically it in the computer bag, then it's light. The extra weight today is the iPad and the liter of coffee, which of course that's a kilogram right there. By definition, almost. Alright, well, this is the building we have a condo in. This is where Central Collegiate used to be. And this is where I'm going in, so I will be cutting this off momentarily. I know it was very short, but that's the way today's going. At least it was something. Right, well, I will be back later, and I might stretch that one out some more. Depends on how I feel and how things are going. But that's it for now. Talk to you later. Bye. It's still January 26th afternoon, and I'm, as you can see, starting in a stairwell. It's because I thought it would be fun. Although actually now that I look at it, it's mostly cinder block walls going by as I go down the stairs. But anyway. This is in the condo building that we have a condo in. Very exciting, don't you think? It's in Rough Rider colors though, green and white. So there's that. I'll go out the back door here and heading home. So that was a bit of a bust. If you were with me on the first walk, which you may or may not, well, you will be if you're watching the recording because it's all joined together. I came over here to try to do a little recording. I wanted to do an audiobook of One Lucky Devil, First World War Memoirs of Samson J. Goodfellow, which is, well, just what it says. I think we'll go this way, go along 15th since I walked along College coming over. So it was a test to make sure that I still remembered how to use the good mic and all that stuff that I've got over here. And sure enough, that all worked, but I couldn't do any real recording. Serious recording because of the wind, because there was a creaking noise that I've never heard before, clearly related to the wind, and you could hear it in the closet, which is what I use as a makeshift recording studio. It was too loud to just ignore it, And then there's somebody out here, somewhere. It sounded like they were occasionally trimming twigs or something. It was a really loud periodically. So those things together, and I decided, well, it was a test, but it was not an actual recording session. And I'll remember, I can't do it on a windy day, clearly I need to remember that. I still haven't figured out where that outside sound was coming from. Or maybe it was in the condo on somebody's balcony or something. They were doing something. I don't know. Anyway, sure put a damper on my efforts. So we'll walk home in the slush because it is right around freezing still. It is cooling off later, but it hasn't happened yet. And still a really good wind blowing. When I checked, it was 50 or 60 kilometers an hour, so pretty good wind. It's only about a 15-minute walk back if I don't stretch it out, and I probably won't because I'm carrying a very heavy bag slung over my shoulder. I actually walked along this path yesterday to be sure, but I think I went down the alley over there, so this time I'll stay on 15th. And maybe tomorrow I'll take a longer walk again. I think I have to do it first thing in the morning. Whenever I put it off like this, they tend to be shorter. If I just assume I'm doing a full-length walk first thing in the morning and I do it, and I don't feel like I'm got a problem with the time. Slipping away on me during the day, although the time sure does slip away. I did a list this morning of all the things I want to do, publishing and wise, and I need 3 of me working 24 hours a day, and then I might get it all done in a reasonable amount of time. Oh well. Keep plugging away at things, and eventually things do get done, but it always takes longer than I wish it would take. As I said earlier, I did get a chapter written of the YA novel I'm working on, so that was good. This is Orange Street. Ow. And my knees twinging me for some reason. Snow route when declared. It means you can't park along here if it's declared a snow route, because they're going to run the plows along it. I've been in that house. That's a fountain. It just looks like a snow-capped toadstool, but it's a fountain. Right, I walked by that yesterday and made the comment about that looking like a pig snout. I'm definitely repeating myself here. But doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a pig snout? If only it had windows directly on either side to make eyes, even more so. But it's a little off center, so not so much. Don't walk around with your mask on outside. It's always my reaction to somebody doing that. Province says some restrictions will be going away before too long. And once they get rid of the mask one, I'll be really happy. I will gladly bare my face for all to see everywhere. I think the first thing that's going to go, though, is the vaccine requirement, passport requirement for entering things like liquor stores and things like that. Public. If I read that right. Anyway, we'll see. We are at the mercy of the government. Hello. Or as somebody put it today, we seem to be in an age of government by the government, for the government, as opposed to by the people, for the people. But as I said before, I'm kind of a squishy libertarian. I don't mind our public health system, although it's not the be-all and end-all that some people would like to pretend. But mostly I just want the government to leave me alone. Oh, did we get this one pretty good? We did. If I walk fast enough, I'll get across it with the light. Barely, but I'll make it with the delay. Take a turn through the gas station here, because I spare no expense showing you the greatest sights of Regina. Eyeglasses store there. Always has an eye-catching, which is appropriate, billboard on the side. Maybe I'll go walk down the alley. I need to put our recycling bin in, and that'll give me a slightly different return path than I took going over. I know, not a very exciting walk today. Somebody else wearing a mask outside. On a really cold day, it makes sense because it also asks us a face mask, but on a day like today, you're just not going to pick up the virus out here. So why wear a mask? Won't stop it anyway. Unitarian Center. Used to be not Scientology, First Church of Christ Scientist, Christian Science. Very different from Scientology, despite the similarity in the names. But anyway, it's neither of those now. It's the Unitarian Center. Unitarian Fellowship. The Fellowship of the Unitarians. This bus is going to turn in front of me. Told you so. the skis. Stavin School over there, or now called the Crescent School. So my daughter went to school there, and our house is on this side of the alley, so she could literally be on our back porch. Well, not because there's a garage in the way, but essentially be on our back porch, and she'll be saying goodbye to her friends on the playground. So it was very handy, school-wise, while she was here, those 9 years from kindergarten through grade 8. I just thought that was a long time. It seems in retrospect to have gone by in the blink of an eye. Oh well, I'm hardly the first parent to make that observation. So the blue bins are recycling bins. It was picked up last week, and I normally keep mine inside our back gate, so when I get to mine I will put it in there. Which means I'm just about done here, despite the shortness of the walk. Again, I apologize for the brevity of today's walk, but that's just the way it worked out. See if I can do better tomorrow, although, well, I guess I have a phone call at 10 o'clock. So that's plenty of time to do a walk before that. That's probably what I'll do. So I'll stop here, and thanks again for walking with me. Sorry it's so brief. Oh, I wonder if I was out of focus the whole time. It's quite possible. I guess I'll find out. Bye for now.